It's another picturesque afternoon in Nanaimo on Vancouver Island. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Kickoff Stadium on central Vancouver Island. My name is Alex Ronsley, bringing you all the action for today's League One BC game between Harbourside FC and TSS Rovers. Before we get too far into the broadcast, we're going to bring in a co-host who's going to join us for this afternoon's game. Jordan McKenty, subbing the cleats, the shin pads, and the ball. We've seen you feature so much in the back end of this team this season. You've subbed that out for the headset here this afternoon. How you feeling? A little bit of a different vantage point on the game here today.
Yeah, obviously I'd like to be on the field, but yellow card accumulation has kept me out for today, but still trying to help out the team anyway, so I'm excited.
We'll get your thoughts kind of as the game goes on. It's an interesting game because you've got TSS at the top of the table. They're fighting for that first place against Victoria, and interestingly, those two teams will close the regular season next weekend down on the South Island. And you've got Harborside out of the playoff picture, but just looking maybe to get some momentum, find that extra win, find that second win. What's the talk been in training this week in terms of getting up for a game and testing yourself against one of the league's best teams?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing has just been although we're out of the playoff picture, we want to finish strong, set a good precedent for next season. So I think both teams coming into this game have a lot to prove. So I think it's going to be super interesting to see how this plays out.
Last action for Harbourside FC was last weekend on the road against the Vancouver Whitecaps. Suka Bahari scored his fourth of the season. It came in the late stages of the first half, but that was all the scoring that Harbourside were able to muster. A pair of late goals gave the Whitecaps a win via a 3-1 scoreline. The record for Harbourside moving to 1-4-7 on the year, ahead of just Altitude in the standings, who they will play here next weekend. For the TSS Rovers, they have been on a roll, as we mentioned, tied at the top of the league standings with the Victoria Highlanders with a record of 8-2-2. Their goals against is just 5 this season. In fact, their goal differential at a +22 is the best number in League One. They are coming off a 2-0 victory over Nanaimo. It was their third consecutive shutout. Those are very impressive numbers to do that week in, week out, Jordan, against a whole host of teams.
Yeah, it is. And TSS has proven last season and this season that they have a very strong backline, super organized, hard to break down. So I think it's going to be a good challenge for the boys today, and we'll see if we can play through.
I know it's been at least a few weeks, but what do you remember? Like, what does the team take away from your last matchup against TSS?
Like I mentioned before, they're super organized. They like to play through their midfielders like Kyle Jones and Ali Zohar. They like to drop deep and get the ball and then play it out to their danger man out wide. So I think keys to this game will be try to eliminate that and step up quick so they can't play forward.
This team continues to look for offense. 7 goals scored through the regular season so far. The next highest is Nanaimo at the the wrong end of your offensive standings and stats. Suka Bahari has 4 of those. Billy Bagiopoulos, who will be that lone target man this afternoon, has a pair, and then Charlie Purcell has the 7th one. Scored multiple goals just twice this season. Have Harbourside against Rivers and against the Whitecaps in a loss and a tie, respectively. I have spoken with a few of the players just about that offense. I mean, it's tough to win games if you're not putting the ball in the opposition net. Is it kind of a bit of a disconnect between the back 5 and the guys up front? Is it quality of opposition? How do you sort of begin to tackle that with 2 games remaining and obviously leading into a next season as well?
I mean, I think at the start of the season, it was a huge focus on trying to score, not so much play through. So I think when you're overthinking it, the goals are harder to come by. But I think the attitude with the team, these last 2 games are really good. Guys want to win. We want to get those goals in. So you'll notice today that there's a good attitude going forward, and a lot of chances will be created, hopefully.
I don't think you fault the attitude. You don't fault the effort. Certainly the games here, even when the scorelines haven't obviously gone Harbourside's way, it's been to the final whistle. Like it's not been a quit. Doesn't matter what is on the scoreboard. So you credit the players for that. As you mentioned, you close the season against Altitude next weekend. Jordan, so many unknowns, we'll say, coming into this, a new venture, debut season for Harbourside. You look back at the season, obviously minus today and minus next week. It's hard to kind of be critical of how this Harbourside team has come into the sporting landscape in Nanaimo. It's made an imprint right away.
Yeah, for sure. And obviously, first year team obviously could have done better, but I think another takeaway from this community is just the showing that we've been getting week in, week out. Yeah, and definitely is a factor until playing to the end, because we know these people come here and spend their hard-earned money, so we want to give them the best show every weekend. So
excellent. So it is the TSS Rovers, the opposition here today, and they have, as we said, a lot to play for. Coming in 3 straight shutouts, 1-0, 3-0, and 2-0 scores. Haven't conceded since June 21st against the Vancouver Whitecaps, and that was in the second half in stoppage time in a 1-1 scoreline. The TSS Rovers, as Jordan was alluding to, a very organized back end, and that is reflective in the I guess the score lines in the results that we have seen so far. 6 total shutout wins this season, including, obviously, as we mentioned, the 3 in a row. Haven't conceded more than 1 goal in a game this season as well. So a Harborside team which is looking for ways to put the ball in the back of an opposition net. If you're able to do it against TSS, you're able to do it against anybody.
Yeah, for sure. And we've had a couple video sessions this week just looking at where we can exploit them. So it'll be interesting to see if the guys follow the plan today. And if they do, I think there's definitely goals that can happen.
I know talking with coaches early in the season, the focus was always on how do we want to play? Let's figure out our 11, our style, our formation, and then go from there. Has that shifted a little bit as the season rolls on, as you've got that identity more solidified than you did back in late April, early May, and your focus is more on now tweaking for your specific opposition?
Yeah, I think at the start of the season we did talk about a set identity. Obviously, it's a first year. Lindo hasn't worked with a lot of these players, so I think first couple games were a test for certain players to see what they're capable of. I think now we've got our core and just building off that, and then obviously we have good talent off the bench that can help that. So, I mean, I think you can't change it now. We have to stick to this identity and try to do as best as we can, and then if there's changes that have to be made, we'll talk about that next season.
Let's get to a little bit of game-specific stuff, and one thing to really talk about is the weather conditions today. 26 degrees recorded just across the road at Vancouver Island University. Pretty decent breeze for us up here. I'm not sure if it's quite as strong down at pitch level. It's kind of coming across the pitch as we talk right now. It's going to be a hot one, and that's going to impact the pace of play, I think. Certainly games here in Nanaimo, I'm not sure what you've seen on the road, but certainly games in Nanaimo, this will probably be the hottest you'll face so far this year.
Yeah, I think you'll definitely see a slower start from both teams just to conserve the energy. But with that being said, both teams here know what this game means to both, so I think it's going to be a really good test.
And I mean, you can count the number of clouds in the sky on one hand. Starting lineup for Harbourside FC, it'll be Callum Weir in net, and then the familiar 5 on the back end, anchored by 3 in the middle of Farragut, Marassa, and Hull. And then your 2 wingbacks, Mowbray and Brown on either side. We're used to seeing you in one of those positions, and we'll talk a little bit about it as the afternoon rolls on. But one thing I've thoroughly enjoyed about watching the way Harbourside go about their business is how active those wingbacks are.
Yeah.
Like, it's not, it's a defensive position, but it is not out of the ordinary to see you in an attacking corner trying to cross or develop something sort of 18 yards out along the touchline. We'll talk about that because I'm sure we'll see it as the day goes on. Titani and Purcell in the central midfield area, and then the 3 up front of Suko Bahari, Ambrose Tinmouth, and Billy Bagiopoulos, the lone striker. And we've seen just how important Bahari is through our campaign so far. For the TSS Rovers, I should say, they're 11 to start. Goalkeeper Connor Adams, and then Barrett Zoha, Mejia Habibullah in the number 9 jersey, Verhoeven, and then the captain Simchenko, Zarum Jampur Proctor, and then the rounding out there with Sagawa, and then obviously full subs benches on both sides. We'll go back to Harborside there. We said we're in net for Harbourside. It'll be Illich on the bench to start. Degelman, Tumsuru, Coburn, Chow Aber, and McKenzie to round out the lineup here. The consistency on the back end, Jordan, I wanted to ask about in terms of, I guess, having that set 5. This is probably the biggest deviation I've seen in the set 5, certainly here in Nanaimo. You've been a constant force out there as well. Johnny McKenzie as well, I think, on the other side there. But having that stability, particularly of the back 3 of Farragut, Hall, and the captain, Matt Marassa, so crucial to be able to build out from that.
Yeah, for sure. And it also helps when same guys every game and in training, because we get used to playing with each other. We know what foot each player likes, so the chemistry is definitely back there. Today it's nice to see a change, give a couple guys a chance, and see what they can do.
We're just having some issues with our camera. There we go. We're all good. Just getting everything plugged in as they're getting set. Teams beginning to make their walk out onto the pitch here at Kickoff Stadium. A pleasure to have you on board this afternoon for today's League One matchup. Of course, the men getting underway here in a couple of moments' time, and then the women due for a 3:30 kickoff here later on today. The starts are crucial, but as Jordan mentioned, it'll be interesting to see the pace of the game early. I know the games here, particularly at nighttime, when the team's hitting the pitch at 8:30, 8:45, you get that cool down. It gives you the opportunity to be a little bit more aggressive. I can see you getting a couple of looks from the boys as they're starting to walk out as well.
Yeah, it was a big joke this week when they found out that I'd be commentating. So.
I think this one might have our highest views because all 11 are going to go back and make sure you weren't all that too critical.
Yeah.
Who's that? Was that Ambrose down there that gave you the?
Yeah.
He's walking in behind Cal there.
The glance over.
Yes. So teams are lining up at middle. We'll take a short pause and for our national anthem here in a couple of moments.
Two top supporters groups in League One BC, the Swan Guardians, supporters of TSS Rovers. Not only outstanding support on their home pitch, but they travel all across BC supporting the team, and really one of the best groups and ambassadors of League One BC soccer. We appreciate what they do to promote the beautiful game and their team, and we're very happy to welcome you here to Nanaimo for the first time, the first matchup here against Harbourside. With that in mind, we've got members of Swan Guardians and also supporters from Harborside. We're going to get them to do a bit of a scarf exchange. Thanks again for coming together on the territories.
Just a brief presentation at center before we get underway here, and Harborside in their home blues, the two-tone blue with the white trim, and then TSS Rovers coming in their reds with some white trim in there as well. Jordan, first 5 minutes, we talked about start, we talked about pacing. Is there something particular you're looking for that people can watch at home? And we'll get your thoughts on this after the anthem maybe, but something that you're looking for, whether it's crispness of passing, whether it's a positioning aspect of some description, as they line up here, sort of where are your eyes in this first few minutes?
I mean, obviously, I hope that the guys stuck to the plan that we talked about yesterday, which was attacking wide. So I hope we stick to the plan and not change it up last minute. And I think if the guys follow through with what they've been told, I think we'll have success through the wide areas. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. I mean, the passing quality is crisp. It's good. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting one.
We'll pause here for O Canada. All right, we are set to go here, Kickoff Stadium in Nanaimo, Central Vancouver Island. Pleasure to have you on board for this afternoon's League One BC action between Harbourside FC and TSS Rovers. My name is Alex Ronsley, Harbourside defender Jordan McKinty joining me here on the call this afternoon. We'll go back over your Harbourside lineup to start. And as we mentioned, it'll be Cal Weir in the nets. Two very agile goalkeepers on the Harbourside roster. Of course, Weir and Marco Illich, but Weir gets the start here today. The familiar three in the middle and the back, Farragut, Marassa, and Fergus Hall to play as that central role. We've seen them kind of adjust their shape and adjust their ordering, but those three will stick there on the back end. Mowbray Bejean and Declan Brown are the two wingbacks to start today. Tyson Chitani and Charlie Purcell in the middle, and then the three up front anchored by Billy Bagiopoulos in the number 10 jersey, Suko Bahari and Ambrose Tinmouth to join him in attacking midfield roles. And then for the TSS Rovers, as we mentioned, a few changes and a few players not starting that have had impact so far this season. Of course, TSS battling with the Victoria Highlanders for that top spot in League One. A massive game next weekend for both of those teams as TSS will return to Vancouver Island to take on the Highlanders. As we have had the coin toss, we are getting set. Matt Marasa delivering the news, and we'll see which side we go here to start, with Harbourside in their blues. And then TSS Rovers in their reds. You can hear the wind on a mic that we have set up just to our right. We'll try and juggle that as it goes, just try and pick up some of the crowd and ambient noise as well. And we'll look for that Christmas of passing and the attacking out wide early from a Harbourside perspective, Jordan, and see sort of how quick they're able to establish that play. I mean, we saw, last time out, the women's game. Certainly the Harbourside team were dominant through 30 minutes, able to establish every single one of their wishes and every single one of their game plans, and at the end of the day, that's what led to a big win the last time out for the women, who will play here at 3:30. Referees for today: Ben Clark is the man in the middle with the whistle. Garrett Wilson and Teiko Foley are the assistant referees. Fourth official managing the substitutes is Kelsey Carruthers. And Harbourside will start from our left to right in their home blues with the white and light blue trim. Harbourside, or rather TSS Rovers, I should say, from my right to left in their red jerseys with the white trim in there as well. Crowd still continuing to file in, and it'll be a long day of football here at Kinnistook Stadium in Nanaimo. And a pleasure to have you with us on League One BC YouTube channel. Harbourside will have the kickoff as well with Billy Bagiopoulos awaiting Rovers to set up. And already the two wingbacks of Mowbray Bejean and Declan Brown effectively at half to start with this kickoff. So, that game plan of them remaining aggressive and sort of having that license to move up into more midfield and attacking midfield roles, while also having that defensive responsibility, it's a lot of running on that touchline. Yeah, it's a lot of up and downs.
It is, and you'll see that Mowbray and Declan will definitely be up in their half for most of the game.
So Harbourside to control. It'll be at Tinmouth to take it in. He's got Bagiopoulos with him. Ball sprawls out to this right side for Brown. Couldn't quite control. Good toe by Tinmouth, but it's captured by the Rovers, and they will control as Barrett. Over to the far side, that's Simchenko. Rovers captain wearing the armband today. Simchenko once more. Back to Barrett.
Yeah, you'll see that a lot from TSS. They like to slow it down from the back to try to drag players in, and then they're always looking for that pass through to their number 9. So definitely something to watch for.
Just getting our clock going here on the broadcast. Apologies for the stop on that. As an aggressive chance and a sharp-angled shot on net. It's parried away by Weir. And the crumbs fall to Harbourside, and they'll begin to break out along this right side. It's Tinmouth. Slows the pace back down to Brown. Controls on the right touchline up to Bagiopoulos. Good touch to Tanny. Tried to spin and go. The ball just wouldn't go with him. And Rover is able to regather. Simchenko. Up to halfway. Plays out to the right side. Good pressure by 3 Harbourside players, including Bejean pinching up to join Bahari and Bagiopoulos. And Rovers just a little bit of a feeling out stage along this near side as Rovers look to gain entry. Here's Magia. A long ball intended for the streaking number 22 of Proctor, but we're able to come back out and grab that quickly. Plays it off to the left side. Bahari, his first real touch of the game this afternoon. Plays it Pitch wide, but didn't quite get there. Marasa looking to challenge, but it's taken away from him by Mejia. In the middle, Sagawa. Back to Simchenko. And the D partner of Barrett, and the Rovers will set up once more. Relatively even start to this game, although Rovers have had the bulk of possession and territory to date, but many of their entries and chances towards the net quickly snuffed out, such as that one as Weir gets that up to Ambrose Tinmouth. Has support on the right side as Declan Brown was streaking through, but couldn't quite connect with him. Chitani, pressured by 3, goes back to Marasa. The right side, Brown, challenged and taken away. Here come the Rovers with the Verhoeven. Hustle on that right side. Rovers still control. Threatening from distance, Sagawa. Looking to challenge, and a good boot from Brown. Able to get a chance away from Rovers, and a quick throw. Comes back to center. 4th minute, no score. Harborside in their blues from our left to right. Rovers, and you can hear the wind pick up. Rovers in their reds from our right to left. Looking for a cross, delivering to the middle. Only blue jerseys there off the chest of, I believe that's Farragher, and it'll be cleared eventually by Hall and played out to this near side. Tinmouth, good back heel, just off the wrong angle of it. Wasn't able to quite connect on it. Good shape early. Harborside not getting drawn out too much from position. But possession, you'd probably argue close to 3/4 so far in favor of Rovers. Chance out the right side. Good pressure by Bahari, and I believe that's what Bejen along that far side. Barrett through the middle. Little one-touch give and go. Couldn't quite connect on it, and it'll be Chitani back in a more central defensive position. To give that back to Weir. He'll clear it right down the barrel. Bagiopoulos, header over the top of him by Rovers, and here come the visitors. Mejia all along this left side, trying to turn. Cross was just in behind everybody. The delivery from Sagawa went through about 6 or 7 bodies with no boots on it. Still along that far side. Sarajampur. Sagawa. Little touch and a give and go between he and Mejia. And a chance out that right side. Still looking for a cross, but well closed down by Mowbray Bejen. Suka Bahari, Bagiopoulos tackle, just couldn't quite strip the ball away. Even with the breeze, you can feel the heat, and we're standing here in the shade. You just get a little wave of it every once in a while. McKinty. Sorry, I was going to ask you a question. I thought you were on the ball down. They score. Rovers. And the back flip to boot. It'll be Kyan Proctor, his 3rd of the season. I look away for a second. Ball's in the back of the net, and it's 1-0 Rovers.
Yeah, I think it was a cross wide from Zarjampur. Just unpicked up Proctor in the box, and you don't miss those. But I think TSS was definitely content with just sitting on the ball and waiting to see what Harborside would give them. And I think that's exactly what you don't want to do to TSS. You kind of want to break up the play, kind of kill their momentum just so they can't build through and create something.
Is that just a dictate pace of game, kind of dictate how this game is going to be played sort of style?
Yeah, for sure.
So Harborside having to play from behind in the 7th minute. A goal from Kyan Proctor, as we said, his 3rd. And it's 1-0 Rovers.
Still lots of time for Harborside to get back in this game.
Tackle by Chitani, and as you said, Jordan, tons of time to work. But you're wanting to see Harborside sort of get a little bit more, I think proactive would probably be the word.
Yeah, I think right now heat could be a major factor, but kind of sitting off, which is what you don't want to do with a team that's super comfortable on the ball, but we'll see what happens.
Simchenko was pressured by Bagiopoulos. Out to that far side, and then a return to the captain. Played over to the near side, for Barrett. Rovers look to advance the ball once more, and this possession stat, I guess if we were tracking it, just continues to go up with the Rovers. As Jordan said after the goal, look, seem content just to sit back and wait for that opening in a Harbourside defense. Played up the left touchline. Controlled and sent back into the middle. Ivan Major, he's got 5 goals on the season. Looking and threatening delivery towards the net and sails over the crossbar behind Cal Weir, and that'll go out for a goal kick. You're hearing some of the drumming of the TSS Rovers fan group, which has traveled here to Kikinishtuk to take in their first game in Nanaimo, and a pleasure to have them. They got the smoke out for the game's first goal as well. From a very selfish standpoint, hope we don't see that too many more times this afternoon, if at all. Barrett to Simchenko. How much talk is there out there, Jordan? Because it's, you hear a little bit. You hear the screams and the yells, obviously, as a Rovers, a little give and go and a chance just on the edge of the penalty area. Delivered to the middle, but cleared away and well out into midfield.
Yeah, there's a lot of talk out there. I mean, it's hard to pick up even from up here. I can't hear it, but you can see that guys are pointing, and it's not a lot of talking. It's just mostly direction, like from the center backs telling their fullbacks either to step or slide left. So it's not a conversation, it's just directions, but there's definitely talking out there, and that's going to be a huge factor today, especially against an organized team like TSS.
Free kick coming to Harbourside on a challenge along the far side. Chance here for Harbourside to really try and set up and get a prolonged touch of the ball. Marasa on that right side. Check that part of me. Hole caught with it as Chitani coming back to help out. Makes a nice play. And he'll start the ball up along that left side. Mowbray Bejen. Back inside the Harbourside area. Just any pass up is just so quickly met with red jerseys around you. It's tough to sort of get any momentum going at the moment.
Yeah, and that's one of the TSS's big game plans. They like to press super high, which makes it uncomfortable when you're building out of the back, but it also leaves areas open and behind, so we're going to see if we can find that space.
Throw-in will come to Rovers along that far touchline. Long throw hits the boot of Habibullah. He's got 6 on the season and directs a ball towards the goal, and that'll go out for a corner. A chance here on set piece. We talk a lot about communication. This is probably where it comes in, I don't want to say the most handy, but certainly very, very important in these sorts of situations, making sure guys have their man. Making sure, your goalkeeper has a good look at it as well, unobstructed with bodies in front. Deliver it to the back post and well over everybody, and never really threatened finding anybody in the box. It goes out for a goal kick. The one thing I have noticed, and you'll be able to speak to this, the goal kick strategy. I'm not sure I've seen Cal take too many long goal kicks, and I've only seen Marco Illich once.
Yeah, and I think part of the reason is that, too, our front line, we're not big boys, so it's a 50-50 when you put it up in the air, and especially against TSS with 2 big center backs who are good in the air. You just don't want to give away possession cheaply. So when we build out of the back, there's a bigger chance of getting through than if we're just kicking it up and making it a 50-50 for our striker.
Yeah, I mean, Amber Tinmouth has got a bit of size.
Yeah.
Taylor Arbor as well has got a bit of size up front too. But yeah, Bagiopoulos isn't going to win too many, one-on-one aerial battles against a guy, a defender who's got, 6-8 inches in height on him. Keep the ball on the ground. His Tinmouth right side, good chance for Harbourside. Brown pinching up, looking Bagiopoulos, the through ball to the area. Bagiopoulos to net, and it's steered away. Great chance on goal by Harbourside. The through ball from Brown hits Bagiopoulos in traffic. He got a good shot away. But it was the goalkeeper to parry it, and this one stays a 1-0 Rovers lead. Quick chance back the other way. Here's Magia trying to deliver it into the box. Habibullah looking, trying, shooting off a Harbourside leg down to make the tackle. That was Fergus Hole and out for another corner kick. And that's a nice counter press, nice counter attack from Harbourside from, I don't want to say nothing, but from control and, as you were saying, possession and build inside the half.
Yeah, and that's why we like to pin our wing back so high, because it makes it confusing for the fullbacks. So by Declan Brown getting the ball out wide, it drags a defender out and leaves that space in behind, and that's what we've been talking about this week, so I'm hoping to see more of that. And
credit Bagiopoulos as well for the signal on that through ball. It's delivered, punched away by Weir. It's still high, comes to the edge of the area. You could see that develop. He was screaming for it, pointing for it, and the pass from Brown, inch perfect.
Yeah, it was.
Delivered back to the edge of the box along the right side. Farragher able to boot it out. Bejen just off the toe of his boot, comes to the touchline. And TSS will let that go out for a throw. Getting those sorts of opportunities coming back from a goal down. Definitely like to see it. Just, you know, there is that chink in the armor that you're able to try and go find. Yeah. I mean, scoring on TSS difficult. The whole league's had trouble with it. You know, you've found that avenue, and now the key is to try and go find it again. Tackle on the edge of the area. Referee saw it, and it was well executed by Harbourside. Here's Bahari breaking out through midfield. Delivers to the left side to Tanny. Played over to the far touchline. Bejen tackled along that touchline. Ball goes out of play as the goal scorer, Kyan Proctor, knocking that away.
And just back on your point about creating chances and trying to score versus TSS, I think it's really important that when you get in those chances, you're trying to score, because, you know, you might not get a lot of those chances, so you just need to take them as they come.
I mean, you know, I'm sure Bagiopoulos would have liked a little bit more on that chance, but at the same time, credit the goalkeeper. Got in good position, and, you know, couldn't really ask for much more.
Yeah, did well to make himself big and cut off the angle.
Connor Adams getting in the way of that one. Timchenko. We've seen Bagiopoulos last time out, I think, scored here. So he's got a couple on the season, one of them here, one of them on the road.
Yeah, and he's always a danger running in behind. Sometimes he drops in, he varies his run, so sometimes he'll come in and show for his feet, and then sometimes he wants it in behind into space, which is tricky for defenders. So
he looks strong as well. He looks like a solid build. Might not necessarily have, you know, all the height in the world, particularly with the defenders, but he's a solid build as well. It's tough to knock him off the ball.
Yeah, and he really knows how to use his body well, so angling off defenders when he gets the ball. So
he's Suka Bahari. Along the left side, there's Bejen almost leading the attack as Bahari back to Bejen, and Harbourside's look to cross it over. Brown having to track back, trying to keep that one in play, and the assistant referee says not quite so fast, although the throw-in will come back as Rovers trying to get a little counterattack going. Brown didn't really like the call, thought he'd done enough, but linesman in position made the call.
Yeah, and you'll see that a lot. Suka will drop in a lot just to get on the ball, because he's definitely a danger man and super dangerous going forward, as he's a really good dribbler. So expect him to be dropping into those pockets and collecting the ball.
I mean, it's something that can't possibly happen. I'll finish that thought in a second, although that will be offside. It's something that can't possibly happen every time, because it's a sensational play. It's highlight reel stuff. But Suka Bahari is one of those players that when he's on the ball, you almost expect him to dangle 11 guys, or I guess 10 guys, and put the ball in the back of the net. Like, he's that presence around him. He's really exciting to watch this year.
Yeah.
Chitani. Pass over to the far side. It's for Farragher, now for Mowbray Bejen. Working his way down that left touchline as he's tackled by a pair of Rovers. Zajanpour able to strip him of the ball. The Rovers will control in their own right corner. Played up the touchline, chested down by Zohar. Good tackle by Harborside, looking to take it away. Brownell on this near side. Again, pinching up and pinching in. Tinmouth, the back heel, just didn't quite get the roll off the boot, and Sagawa able to take it away for Rovers. Chitani, touch on it. It was enough. His Purcell, muscled and bodied off the ball. A couple of fans didn't like that one, but play continues. The referee right there and lets it go. Rivers control. Verhoeven. Working along that right touchline, played in through the middle, the intended target. There was Verhoeven. And Buhari will come back.
And I like what I'm seeing. You can definitely tell that the attitude of the Harborside team's changed. They're looking to get forward a lot more and creating chances, so it's good to see.
I think pace has picked up a little bit too.
Yeah. Definitely more of an intent to go forward now, for sure.
Intent's a great word for it. As here's a delivery along that left side as Purcell, just the delivery, maybe letting him down a little bit on that one, trying to unleash Bagiopoulos along the far side, but a little bit too much on it. I think just away from both sides, saying that's the right idea, just execution off on that occasion. Rovers look to regather once more. Harborside, since the goal, it is a 1-0 Rovers lead, but since the goal, as Jordan's been saying, a lot more intent, a lot more push from Harborside. You've seen Buhari get in the game more. You've seen Chitani sort of drift up and back. You've seen Tinmouth try to get some possession and some creative distribution as well in an attacking midfield role. There's Rovers along the right side, looked across, played in, and it's kicked out by Hall. Knocked down, handball, I believe, called by the referee, and Harborside will take it quickly. Buhari has Bejem with him, has Bagiopoulos in the middle, uses Bagiopoulos, and Harborside still down that left side. Buhari, chip to the middle, Tinmouth, one touch pass back to Chitani. Now for Marassa finding himself up in the play. Chitani, turning, playing through the middle, stripped of it, and Purcell will get it straight back for the home team. He's Buhari, just outside, probably 25 yards out. Tried to play a ball in, it was choppy, and it's cleared away. Rivers with some space. Here's Habibullah along the right side, being tracked down by a back-checking Maurey Bejan. A drive carried away by Weir. It's cleared out for a throw. A bullet from a long way out by Habibullah along that right side, but an easy save and a good positional save for Weir. Apologies, just having some issues with our camera. Just trying to correct it as we go here. As it's delivered in towards the middle. Okay, apologies for that. We are back up and running as Harborside gather. Chitaniel on the right side. Here's Bejan. Back along their own, deep in their own end, as Brown will look to head that ahead, but doesn't get too much on it. Got a good boot, able to put that out for a throw. Again, Rovers back to middle, and this deep pairing of Nicholas Barrett and Danielo Simchenko. Brown took a tumble, quickly back up. Rovers is Zohar. Wind pretty prevailing sort of at the back of Rovers in this first half, moving from our right to left. You can see it in the flags on the stands behind us. It's gusty, and when it kind of stops for that second, then you feel the heat sort of start to come in. 26, 27 degrees at Vancouver Island University just across the road at kickoff, and it'll only get warmer this afternoon. Comes back out to middle. Free kick will come here for an offside call just outside the edge of the area. Harborside, again, an opportunity to just try and reset a little bit here. Delivered up to Bagiopoulos along that left side. Ball to ground. Here's Purcell. Little one-touch pass eventually finds Chitani. Now he's Buhari, and Harborside with some numbers here if they move. Buhari working his way through. Finds Tinmouth, edge of the area. Spin, dance to the left foot. Looks to unload and it's blocked. Crumbs fall to Beheri to the left side. Brown to the middle. Bagiopoulos! He scores! Rovers pleading for an offside call on Mowbray Bejen, but the linesman flag stayed down, and Billy Bagiopoulos draws scores level at 1 with his 3rd of the season.
Yeah, and you could kind of see it coming. Like I alluded for before, the intent to be going forward has been great, and happy for the guys.
So in the 23rd minute, Billy Bagiopoulos, again, it's the wingbacks. We talked about it in pregame. We've talked about it extensively here. And it's Mowbray Bejen finding himself, 6 yards, 5 yards above the end line, and able to find, eventually, Billy Bagiopoulos in the middle. His 3rd, and we are square at 1.
Also, nice work from Ambrose Tinmouth as well, just to craft that at the top of the spot. So,
and even when he wasn't successful, like he had the spin, was able to keep control, got a good left-footed shot away, and then I think it was a Rover Simchenko to get the boot in the way of it, and the crumbs just happened to fall to Beheri. He finds Mowbray, and then Mowbray into the middle.
Yeah, and that's why it's so important to take chances in your opponent's half, and especially when you're on the top of the 18-yard box, because if a shot comes off like that, you never know what can happen. So it's always good to take those chances, and luckily here it came off for us.
So we're going to have a drinks break, and I think that that's just in response to the obviously the conditions and an opportunity for Harborside. And here's Matt Carter with our goal announcement. So a drinks break midway through this first half. Bagiopoulos gets the home team on the board. It is the 8th goal for Harborside this season, just the 6th that Rovers have conceded through the regular season. And it's a goal that you probably like to see if you're Harborside, not only obviously because it's a goal, but it's, as you said, playing wide, it's finding guys, it's support, it's tempo, and it's all the things Harborside trying to execute.
Yeah, and I think right now during the water break, Lindo's just telling them, guys, keep this up, keep up the pressure. You know, we are the team that was fighting back with a good attitude, so keep it up. Rovers, it's going to be tough now because they're going to want to get one back, so now it's going to kind of balance out, and the next 20 minutes are going to be super important for both teams.
So just the clock has stopped for this water break. I took a quick look right at the start, and it has continued to run. So we've just made the adjustment on our on-screen clock as well. So 23:52 gone in this first half, and the water break, I mean, coming at a good time for both teams, really. TSS get an opportunity to sort of regroup after conceding a goal. Harborside get a chance to sort of say, okay, guys, that worked. Here's why. Let's move and make some tactical shifts as well. And a world of good that will do after a tough one to concede just 6 minutes in, or in the 7th minute, I should say. Kane Proctor, his 3rd of the campaign. And then Bagiopoulos able to cancel it out with his 3rd as well, around 16 or 17 minutes later. So out for a throw. Time back on, and Matt Marassa, the Harborside captain, has the ball. He'll play it along that right side, and TSS able to play it out. It was Jordan, in doing prep for Harborside at the start of the season, to see Matt Marassa's name crop back up again. He and I go back to 2009 when he was playing indoor soccer in Prince George. With his brother, to kind of see that sort of come up and full circle in that respect. It was a familiar name. It was good to see. Yeah, he's been a good leader as well. I think heartbreak for the first game with how things went with the red card, but you can't question his maturity and leadership and able to marshal on the back end there as well.
Yeah, and you see a lot of work that he puts in off the field as well. Always checking up on guys, making sure everybody's okay. If they need something, he finds a way to accommodate them, and he's been a really good leader for us, and also been a mentor to some of the younger players, which is always helpful.
Free kick will come here against Harborside. There's a little bit of a disagreement on the allocation of it, maybe just playing of advantage. I'm not quite sure. Rovers number 8 there, Ivan Mahea, complaining, I think, of a jersey tuggers. A chance here for Rovers. Down the right side, delivered to the middle. Mahia trying to drive it to net and offside as the return feed on the guy who crossed it to him along that far side touchline. I believe maybe Ali Zohar. Just return ball, and that's offside. Bejen, little touch out of play by Proctor.
Game's definitely being played at a much faster pace now that it's 1-1, so maybe a goal before the half.
Tinmouth. Down that center lane as he cuts to the left-hand side. Looks for the through ball as Bejen was the target, was streaking through, but it was cut off quickly there by Zajanpour. Play to the middle for Verhoeven. Left side, Brown got in the way of that one as it was tempted to be launched down the touchline. Sagawa. Back to the captain, Simchenko. You can hear the wind start to pick up again as well. As we said, blowing pretty consistently at the back of TSS in this first half. Playing wide, sort of looking for those longer balls. It'll be interesting to see how that aids Harbourside in the second half. It's Buhari along the left side for Bejen. Purcell. Back to Buhari. Not a lot of room to work. Closed down quickly by Zajanpour. Ball at half. Took a couple of bounces, and it will be a free kick. Just kind of came off the boot of Zajanpour and a little touch with the hands. Hall to Marasa. Touch pass, just couldn't quite get control there from Tinmouth. Marasa, nice move. Little dance around the ball, but the delivery lets him down to Bagiopoulos. Did all the work, but then just sort of played it to space and picked up quickly by the Rovers. Ball chipped in and ahead. Here's Ali Zohar to the middle. Little touch pass back, Habibullah. Just outside the area once more, Zohar. Threatening, here are the Rovers. Kick back out. Gathered and controlled by Sagawa. And they'll concede some territory. Back to midfield. And again, try to push once more. And again, looking to see what opens up on a Harbourside defense, which has been very good since conceding the game's first goal. Buhari tracked down and a ball put out of play for a throw-in. Farragher. Back to Weir. And Weir will drive the ball high and long. Buhari the target, but unchallenged with Rovers to play that back out through the middle. It falls nicely, though. Ambrose Tinmouth along this right side. Brown. Declan Brown looking for some options. Finds Charlie Purcell in the middle. Over to that far side, Farragher. Up the left wing, Mowbray. Looking for an option, finds Buhari. Has Purcell. Opts instead to go to the right side for Tinmouth. Looking to open up across. Tinmouth on the left boot. Delivers to the box, but it's headed away just out to Purcell from distance. He'll pass it into danger territory. It'll come off a Rovers player to Buhari. He's challenged, and it's ball first taken away by Rovers on a good tackle. Back the other way, here's Zohar. Rovers quick in transition. Mahia once more looking to deliver to the middle, trying to control, and it'll be Chitani to take it away. Buhari knocked off the ball, wanted a call, didn't get anything, and Rovers once more. Ivan Mahia. Little chip into the middle. Zohar optimistically and over the crossbar. Was almost airborne and parallel, trying to get a shot away in tight, but Ali Zohar puts it well over the goal. You can hear some of that when the drums stop. You can hear sort of some of the instruction and the communication that Jordan was mentioning earlier. Of course, Jordan McKinty joining us, Harbourside defender on our broadcast here today. Some yellow card accumulation, preventing him from getting out onto the pitch today. How are you finding it? I always like talking to players. This is going to sound wrong. I always like talking to players when they don't play, whether it's through injury or suspension or whatever it is, because you get obviously the fascinating insight, but it's interesting to watch sort of how they pick up on things from a different perspective. You're able to sort of see the shape a little bit easier than you would say either out there or sitting on the bench. Yeah,
it's definitely different sitting up here in the booth, so get more of an open view to see where the dangers are. But I mean, obviously I'd prefer to be on the field. But yeah, I'm so far overall happy with the boys' performance.
Chip in, Weir aggressive out to it as Zohar was around it, and Weir and he collided, but no damage done either side. 31st minute in this first half. Harbourside 1, Rovers 1. Visitors opening the scoring in the 7th minute. And a giveaway, here's a chance. Habibullah, right side, drives with the boot and down low and save there for Weir. Masood Habibullah with a drive to the nets. Has potted 6 so far this season. Had a bullet earlier, which was parried away by Weir. This one didn't quite have as much velocity on it, but Weir equal to the task down to his left, able to gather a rebound as well. Mowbray with the throw-in along the left touchline. Has Bahari open up for him. Pass down, knocked to Purcell. To the middle. Here's Tinmouth. Looks, unloads. Long shot, he scores! Ambrose Tinmouth with a bullet from 30 yards.
What a strike.
An innocent-looking play through middle. Harbourside have spent the whole game looking to set up. And it's Ambrose Tinmouth with his first of the year, and Harbourside a 2-1 advantage.
And you can tell he wanted one today. Earlier we saw the chance that he had that led to the goal, but yeah, I'm happy for him.
And you look at this one coming off the right boot, the one he tried to generate earlier, which led to the Bagiopoulos goal, which was blocked and the crumbs fell and the play developed from there off his left boot as well. So he's comfortable either side, looking to try and drive towards the net.
Yeah, and you'll also see him taking corner kicks and free kicks with his left foot. He's comfortable with both feet, so definitely a big factor in his game that helps him.
I love the celebration as well. We'll talk about that in a second. His first of the year, and Harbourside a 2-1 advantage. I want to talk about the goal celebrations. Do players have their own style? Is it premeditated? Because this one, it was kind of the shocked face, and then he sort of did the superhero pose by the touchline.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
is it like a signature? Do guys have a signature? This is what I'm trying to get at.
I think some guys do, and then it's also like what you're feeling in the moment there. Maybe shocked that it went in, but obviously a great strike. Definitely was intending on going in, but yeah, good celebration too, copying Kylian Mbappe.
You're in pretty good company. Here's Bahari down the left side. Harbourside looking to break out once more. Chipping to the middle. Bagiopoulos, here's a chance, but a great sliding takeaway by Nicholas Barrett. Had to be perfect, and he was. Otherwise, Bagiopoulos in alone, and a great pass from Bahari trying to tee up his striker. Zohar to the middle for Habibullah. Mahia gave it away. Here's Purcell with some speed. To the middle, Bahari just on the wrong side of him, and Rovers will control once more. 35th minute here at Kikinishtuk in Nanaimo. Pleasure to have you on board this afternoon. Absolutely stunning conditions at pitch level. 27-odd degrees, barely a cloud in the sky. And the good crowd continuing to file in for this game. And then we'll be main evented by the women's contest. And that one, a battle for playoffs. TSS in that 4th spot at the moment. A point up on Harbourside. A win and they clinch. A draw is Habibullah to net, and it's punched away by Weir.
Another great save from Callum.
The women, if the women win or it's a neutral result, then we'll go to next weekend. So So a lot to play for both teams. Be fantastic to see Harborside make playoffs in their inaugural season. Here's Tinmouth right side. Has some speed and has some support as well. Tinmouth keeping to Bagiopoulos. Chance to net. He shoots and it's cleared away and somehow didn't go out.
Came off the post there.
Yeah, it took a spin as well to kind of deviate from the goal line.
Yeah, the TSS Rovers look super stunned right now, a little bit flat, but we'll see if that changes.
Zohar down the right side. In towards the middle. This is for Proctor. Had the game's first goal 6 minutes in. Since then, the scoring has been all Harborside with a pair. And a corner will come here for the visitors.
As we talked about earlier, communication here is going to be super important. The guys are going to have to be organized and make sure that ball gets out of the box.
Nico Papakriopoulos with the delivery of the corner. Low to the near post. Headed there as Habibullah with a chance to net. Didn't have much on it. Then a second drive off the crossbar. Weir got a touch on it to deliver it to the woodwork. And it's put out of play. It'll be another corner. But Cal Weir, rightfully so, getting congratulations from his teammates. Outstretched fingertips did just enough.
Yeah, and we've seen that time and time again this season. Been a huge factor for us keeping the ball out of the net.
Another delivery here, this time to the far post. Ball falls nicely, just couldn't get a shot away. It's cleared back out of the area. Long drive once more. Verhoeven trying to connect on one. He did, but it was right to the waiting Weir. And this time able to gather easily. Brown. Back to Marasa. Into the middle, Purcell to Tanny. You can hear that communication from Harborside in their own zone. A lot of chatter out there. That's gotten more as the game has gone on as well. To Tanny. Mowbray passed just in behind him a little bit. Had to stop and retreat a fraction. Check that, pardon me, Ferrier. Bagiopoulos at midfield. Little chip from Chitani over to Mowbray, but the ball out of play. Check that, Buhari. .38th minutes in this first half. Harborside a 2-1 advantage. Got caught up in the Ambrose Tinmouth goal and didn't update the scoreboard on screen. It is a 2-1 advantage. Tinmouth and Bagiopoulos for the home team. Proctor for the visitors. Tinmouth trying to control through traffic. Couldn't quite get there as it'll come back out. Sagawa. Ivan Mejia. To the left side. Little slowing of the pace. Grant Verhoeven. Zohar. Pass up in through traffic. Brown a challenge, and it's played out to the left side as center. Brown got in the way of that one. Second opportunity, looking to cross to the middle. This one gets away, but it's over the head of most. Falls nicely, knocked down on a one-time shot by Zajampur. And it's skied eventually to the gloves of Weir. Still time in this first half either way. No action on either bench in terms of substitutes getting ready. It'll be interesting to see if we see a rash at half time or if teams try to hold on to sort of that 50 to 60 minute range. There's a long ball delivered along this right side. Here's Tinmouth. Being tracked down and closely guarded by Verhoeven, excuse me. As it's chipped away by Rovers. Marasa trying to use the body. Couldn't quite get there. Wanted a call, none came. And now here's Ivan Mejia. Streaking down the left side. He's got support. Great sliding tackle. That was from Fergus Hall and neutralized a really good chance towards the net. Mejia looking to get. Marasa comes back with a shoulder. A strong challenge on the ball. Cards will stay in the referee's pocket. As Marasa looking to assert himself on Ivan Mejia.
Yeah, I think that's just a frustration tackle from here at half. I think he was unhappy with the call, so wanted to make it
Comes
even.
back in.
Yeah.
Free kick here for Rovers. Delivered near side, straight to the head of a belief Titani, and kicks back out. Long drive, optimistic at best from Sagawa. Apologies for the issues with the camera. It's just a glitchy connection. We will fix that at half. As just having some challenges just with a new little bit of gear that we've added to our broadcast here, trying to improve the picture quality and whatnot. So we will fix that in the half. Not missing anything though. It's a pleasure to bring this game as Brown, shoulder to shoulder on a challenge by Sagawa. Ball falls. Rovers, what a stuff
Great
from
save.
Weir. This time diving to his right. And Cal Weir on a sharp chance from the visitors, able to put that out for a throw-in. I believe that's what Declan Brown, just on the receiving end of that challenge with Fugo Sagawa. A little bit stung, but up and otherwise fine. Rovers delivered to the box, headed away. Comes back out near side, Zohar. A little chest down, delivered again, this time down low, and it's a good header away by Theriger, but not out of danger quite yet as Bejan collides along that far side just outside the area with Zajanpur, and that'll be a free kick for TSS. Dangerous here, about 20 or so yards out, 21 yards out. Rovers will put the ball down. We'll get the 10-yard wall and see what the visitors are able to make with this. Do we have a tying goal late in this first half?
This is definitely a left-footer shot, so I'm expecting Nico Papakiriopoulos to shoot this for sure.
Zohar is around it too, but it is, as Jordan mentioned, the left foot to put that in, but no deflection and right into Weir, and he will slow the pace. Billy Bagiopoulos tied the game at 1 for Harbourside in the 23rd minutes after Kyan Proctor opened scoring early in the 7th. And then a sensational strike from 30-odd yards out by Ambrose Tenmouth gives the home team the lead. About 3 minutes plus stoppage time remaining. Ball goes all the way back to Weir. Good pressure down low by Grant Verhoeven. That'll be Farragher to take a throw. Right in front of the Harbourside bench. Ball lofted up high to midfield. Headed down there by Simchenko, but right to the boot of Purcell. Now for Mowbray. With speed down the left side. Looking to chip to the middle. Finds Suko Boheri. Here's Tinmouth. Has the go-ahead goal as we stand right now, and it was a play not too dissimilar to what he was about to try there. Just finding his way through midfield and looking to open up a shot. This one, though, taken away from him, and Rovers regather. About a minute remaining before stoppage time in this first half. Harbourside a 2-1 advantage. Barrett. Rovers again content just to sit back for a second to see what Harbourside offer up in this late stage of the first half. Long ball. Habibullah out to grab it is Weir, though, to take it away from the striker. Mahia along this near side pleading for the defense. Wanted the ball, felt he had space. Weir will deliver it long. Caught up in the wind a little bit. Will fall to Simchenko. He'll head it straight back as Purcell boots it ahead. Bagiopoulos for Bahari. Achitani. Brownell on the right side. Doesn't get it to him. Instead back to Farragher. Left touchline Mowbray. Trying to tow it into Purcell. Bahari, the intended target on a redirected pass, but it's taken away by Rovers. 45 minutes done here in this first half. Just awaiting the word from the assistant referee on how many more minutes we'll play. A good sliding tackle from Harbourside as Fairgirl on that far side. The first one was good. The second one brings a free kick. And it will earn a yellow card as well for Reese Farragher. First booking this afternoon for either side.
4th of the season, so I think that means he misses the next match versus Altitude.
Free kick will come from a long way out. Deliver from Zohar, but Purcell first to it. Clearance not immaculate, but the shot, hope and a prayer from Ivan Mahia, sails well over the net.
Yeah, delivery on set pieces haven't been that great for TSS.
Still haven't seen a signal from the fourth official on how many more minutes we're playing here. We're in about, I'd say we're minutes one and a bit, I should say. So you assume maybe 3 or 4.
Yeah, with the water break as well.
I didn't hear an announcement from Matt Carter, our PA announcer, and that'll do it. Just as we're talking about the halftime break, there it is. And Harborside a 2-1 advantage after 45 minutes. They've put themselves in an excellent position through, 12 games so far this season. Teams in League One had scored, just 5 goals against this TSS Rovers team, and Harborside have put 2 in 45 minutes. Jordan, a lot to like from there in terms of the way Harborside went about their business. A slow start, a bit of a tougher start as well. Down early inside 7 minutes, but 2 plays indicative of the way that this team wants to go about its business.
Yeah, and I think when we were talking about the keys to the match before the game, we talked about that it was going to be really important to find those wide spaces and just staying patient on the ball and seeing what opens up. We know that TSS presses super high, so exploiting those positions in behind was always a plan, and we see that there's success, but I think it's important the guys go back and at second half and just regroup and make sure they stick to the plan and come out the same way they came in the first half.
We will take a short pause here from Kinnistuk Stadium. We'll be back in time for a second half action here as Harborside lead by a score of 2-1.
And one more mention here at the half. For any minor soccer players out there, watch out for the Vancouver Island University Mariners Youth Soccer Camps coming up August 1st to 4th for boys, August 15th to 17th for girls. Register today at gomariners.ca. Just watch for the camps there.
Welcome back to Kickinishtuk here in Nanaimo. My name is Alex Stronsley. Jordan McKenty trading in the cleats for the headset here this afternoon, serving just a one-game suspension, right, Jordan?
Yeah.
Okay. Tuck that microphone right to the corner of your mouth there. You can bend that in right there. There you go. One-game suspension due to some yellow card accumulation. But joining us here on the call, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
it's always good to kind of
me.
bounce things off people instead of just up here talking by myself. So. A fantastic opening 45 minutes. I mean, I think you alluded to it back in that first half, Jordan, in terms of Harborside allowing TSS to kind of have that possession, certainly sort of 5-10 minutes into the game, probably 3/4 of the possession to Rovers. Saw them lead to a goal, whether it was just a Rover let up, whether it was a Harborside push. That number definitely began to balance out, and you saw Harborside begin to sort of take the game to Rovers.
Yeah, and I think they did a better job of cutting off the service to the midfielders, the guys that are they're good distributors, and we did well to prevent it going out wide to players like Mejia and Shaya Zarjampur.
So Harborside in their second half will move from our right to left in their blues with the white trim. Rovers from our left to right with their red jerseys and the white trim as well. Rovers making one substitution. I didn't see who came off. However, one coming on.
I think it was
an attacking midfield role, it looks like.
Grant Verhoeven coming out and Kyle Jones coming in.
So Jones comes in, Verhoeven goes out. So just the one change I noted at half. I'm seeing all regular personnel out there to start for Harborside. And we are underway in this second half, as we said. Moving from our right to left is Harborside in their second half in their blue jerseys, and ball goes out for a throw-in. Controlled here by Chitani, just outside of his own 18-yard box. Delivered up that right side. Tinmouth, check that Brown streaking onto it as a foot race is on and out to clear it. Had to be aggressive. That was Connor Adams in net. And a good early play down that right wing for Harborside. Come the visitors once more. Looking to deliver in towards the middle. That was fresh legs as Kyle Jones looking to get on the end of that one, but Harborside nullify any sort of chance. Here's Bejanel on this near side. Bahari presenting. Bagiopoulos on it, and he will be just a half a step ahead. Wanted the through ball. It was angled well by Mowbray, but Bagiopoulos just half a step ahead. Did you get a chance to get down to the room, or have you talked to many of the guys through 45, or did you just sort of keep distance?
Yeah, I sat in there during halftime and just observed, didn't want to change the flow. But yeah, obviously the morale's high, and the guys were just talking about going out there and continuing and doing the same thing.
Tinmouth, Bagiopoulos stripped of it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
Fantastic first half, but to try and close it out, that's the task now, as a delivery to the middle, kicked back out, still danger. That's Zajampur. He crosses into the middle part of me, comes back out just outside the area as Habibullah trying to generate, and it goes off a Harborside player and out for a corner. Ivan Mejia will come in to take it. You can kind of hear the drums in the background of the Rovers support group. Being always good to see the visiting sides. As a chance here for Rovers, cleared away, but it's a free kick. It'll go towards Harborside as Weir down, might have taken a knock as a Rovers player looking to get a shot to net. Quickly up, Callum Weir has been outstanding today. It's always interesting to watch players who have backgrounds in other disciplines. Cal, of course, you know, in futsal and different disciplines of soccer, to have those skill sets translate to the full outdoor game. That agility, the ball control as well, is certainly a couple that are on display.
Yeah, Andy has super fast reaction saves because futsal is definitely it's a smaller field. It's quicker pace and shots come off quicker, so you need to be able to react quick. And we've seen it throughout the season, and especially today, that his reaction saves are really good. So,
I mean, he's made, you could argue, 2, if not 3 goal-saving stops. One to touch a ball up onto the crossbar and out of play. Another, at least one, sort of diving across to his right to parry it out for a goal kick. In fact, I think that one went out for a throw. But you know, in addition to the other sort of routine ones to nullify any sort of offensive push.
Yep.
I say routine like I could do it, but you know, routine for the Harborside goalkeepers. It's Habibullah. Play over the right side pass just in behind Jones. And it'll trickle all the way down for another goal kick. A little bit of a push back and forth here from both teams. They've both had looks on the other's net. Probably a little bit more in advantage of Rovers to start this second half. Down that right side, Ambrose Tinmouth looking to knock a ball down. Gets it to Brown, returned, but just over the head of Tinmouth. And Zohar will control for the visitors, but not for long. Blue jersey's there, and it's knocked out for a throw. The throw will go the way of Harbourside, though. We talked about the smoke from the visitors when they scored the game's first goal. Said we hope we don't see it too much more this afternoon. It's been clear skies since. Bagiopoulos. Brown trying to deliver. It's pinballed back, and Rovers will start a breakout. Habibullah trying to connect on one, but first back to it for Harborside is Fergus Hall. He'll play it to Weir to hoof all the way down. And a goalkeeper-to-goalkeeper pass. Simchenko. Has a bit of support. Had Barrett, instead played to the middle to Zohar, now to Barrett. Simchenko. Up through the middle and controlled there by Sagawa. And here come Rovers with a chance down the left side. Habibullah presenting in the box, but it's cleared away. Pass was just to the top of the area. And Harborside there in numbers and able to be played out in a favorable bounce, I should say, at midfield as the throw-in will go for the home side. 52nd minute. Still a 2-1 Harborside advantage. Just the third time this season Harborside has scored more than a single goal in a game. The offense coming at the best possible time against the stingiest defense in League One. Ball comes back down for a goal kick for Rovers. Simchenko. Harborside not really opening up all that much defensively, able to keep structure, not too many options for the visitors, and that's an example of it there, trying to make a hole through the middle, but immediately closed down. Jatani with speed down the right side. Tinmouth, he has the go-ahead goal as we stand right now, looking to add more as Tinmouth catching up to it, pokes it to goal, and it's cleared away. And Mowbray Bejen trying to get the crowd into it. Great run down that right side for Tinmouth. Almost looked like his body was playing catch up to his feet a little bit, but was able to get a good chance on net and cleared away by a defender in front.
Yeah, and you can tell after scoring that goal, his confidence is super high, which is nice to see. So definitely looking for another one.
Matt Marasa finds himself down, standing right next to the opposition goalkeeper. It's delivered high in the box by Tinmouth. Goes all the way over everybody. There was a Rovers player which made a play at the ball, and Harborside will get the throw. So Matt Marasa will come to this near side now and deliver what you'd assume would be a long throw. And a substitution coming here for Harborside as Declan Brown, his afternoon is done. So the first substitution for the home side come with a long throw and an offensive chance as well. And who's that coming back on for? That's Johnny McKenzie to slot in along that right wing back role. We've seen you and he combine in your respective roles a lot this season.
Yeah. Johnny's usually on the left, but today, because of personnel, obviously, we've got to switch some things up.
We've seen Mowbray float around a lot in the lineup as well. Seems very versatile to play in a bunch of different positions. We've seen him in a striker role in midfield, and obviously today playing in a wingback role as well. Tinmouth.
Yeah, and it's important you have guys on your team like that with injuries or whatever reasons they may be. Those guys are really important so they can just come slot in and do the job for you, and you can expect that from Mowbray every game.
Bagiopoulos just getting wires crossed maybe a little bit with McKenzie along that far side. As the through ball intended just didn't quite find its mark. So a goal kick for Rovers, and they'll start to move their way up the field. Habibullah challenged. Ball falls nicely. Bahari is Harbourside looking to add. Just outside the area, pushed off the ball, and this will be a free kick. Extension of the arms from Ali Zohar on the challenge to Suka Bahari. And a dangerous free kick will come just 19 yards out.
Yeah, and you see Charlie Purcell stepping up to it. We saw what he could do against the Whitecaps, so...
That one was from a bit further out.
Yeah.
He's definitely got distance.
Yeah, he's always staying after training to practice them, and yeah, he's definitely capable of a goal here for sure. It's within his range.
So Purcell will take it. There's no one else around it, although Bahari is sort of looking on. But this is Purcell's shot to take. And he delivers just over the crossbar. Good look from Charlie Purcell, but no danger to the net. And it stays a 2-1 Harbourside lead. Billy Bagiopoulos' third of the year. Ambrose Tinmouth's first. All coming in response to the third goal of the season by Kyan Proctor in the 7th minute. Marasa back for a long ball first. Zohar able to cut that out. McKenzie along the right side trying to track down a loose ball, and he's in a battle in that corner. Zohar looking to come away with it. Ali Zohar back up top. Kyle Jones substituted on at half. Ball knocked down, cleared, still dangerous. Chance to net, they score! Kyan Proctor's second of the game. And Rovers knot this up at 2.
Yeah, it's unlucky. I think it was Reese Farragher trying to clear it. I think he slipped, but...
Still, yeah, couldn't get that definitive boot. We were talking 5-10 minutes ago about the smoke, and reluctantly it returns. So still work to do for Harbourside. Can't sit back. Not that they were. There were some good offensive pushes, but work to do now.
Yeah, I think it's important that the guys keep their heads, keep that intent of going forward, and just staying in the game and creating more chances.
I mean, we saw how they responded to the game's first goal as Rovers coming back in, attacking Chance, and it's cleared off the back of Marasa, out for a throw.
Yeah, and these next 5 minutes are going to be super important.
See, they've actually given a corner. I thought Marasa had done, or the Harborside players had done enough to keep that above the goal line, but this will go out for a corner.
Yeah, but just building off what I was saying earlier, you know, teams are super dangerous just right after they score their goal because they still have that mindset to keep going, and that
Chance here, cleared away. That's the clearance Harborside wanted on the 2-2 goal, and it's back out to midfield, but sent straight back in by Kyle Jones, headed just wide as the captain Daniela Simchenko head in hands for a second. Got above the pack and sent one wide.
Yeah, but I think if you're Harborside, you just put your foot on the ball, kind of stop the momentum of the Rovers, and just kind of regrouping and doing what was working in the first half and the start of the second half.
Yeah, start of the second's been good. I mean, you can't really fault much. They've had some chances. They've had some looks. A couple of free kicks from what you would call definite scoring range.
Yep. Yeah, I think defensively on set pieces we struggled with that and conceded some goals this season, but today it's been excellent.
Yeah,
it's
very
been
good.
Organized. The communication's been great, so good improvements.
Rovers, again, you can just sense that they've sort of shifted into a bit of a higher gear here at the moment. They've taken the tempo up. Nice move from Jones. It's cleared. Purcell looked to get a boot on it. It hit Jones and still fell to danger, but second effort, Harbourside able to clear. You can see now that even the central defenders for Rovers pinching down. Zohar able to make a nice play in for Habibullah. It was out of his reach. Able to track it back down. Wanted a free kick. Oh, and he will get one. He will get a penalty. One-on-one on Marasa. Looked like a lot of ball from up here.
Yeah, I think it's just the follow-through that took Masood Habibullah down.
And a horror last few minutes for Harbourside. And it will be a spot kick. And a card will come here. It'll go against Harbourside's number 14, Fergus Hall. Not enjoying referee decision-making, you would assume. Being vocal about that. Masood Habibullah, 6 goals on his League One campaign to date. Cal Weir in net for Harbourside has been immaculate today. And Habibullah, no mistake. Weir guessed correctly, but the shot just too good.
Yeah, it was a good finish. Penalties low in the corner, almost unsavable. So
you hit that side netting, and that's going to go in, 95 times out of 100, regardless of who's in net. And well executed, slotted home. And it is the 7th goal of the season. Comes in the 61st minute for Masood Habibullah. Comes from the spot. And a horror last 5 minutes for Harbourside, who, I mean, they've played well. The first half excellent, started the second very good, and just a defensive miscue on a slip trying to clear. And then a penalty which Harbourside just really didn't like. And all of a sudden, you go from leading by 1 to trailing by 1.
Yeah, and it happens, and I think now it's going to be a real test to the boys' character and seeing if they can overcome this obstacle.
Gut check. And now you wonder sort of how much push Rovers put in. Like, we said a few minutes before the goal, it's a bit of a shift in gear, a bit of a shift in pace from the visitors.
Yeah, I think
see if that continues.
Yeah, they definitely want to win this game, so I don't think their foot's going to go off the gas. They know how tight it is with the Highlanders and how important this game is for them, so I can expect them to keep going forward, and yeah.
Fair to Purcell. Touch pass back to Weir, and he'll send it long. And again, you can hear the wind pick up a little bit. Certainly a factor. We've seen it sort of the goal kicks and the high clearances from our left to right getting hung up in the breeze a little bit, and then obviously getting a little bit more distance the other way. Marasa able to take a ball away, sliding it back. That's for a hole, and it's cleared to just inside the touchline along the right side in front of the Rovers bench, and Harborside will eventually get a throw. A substitution coming here.
I think that's Tyson Shatani coming off.
Yeah,
so we're going to see Ambrose slide into midfield and then Chow out on the right.
This will be Nathan Chow coming in, as Jordan mentioned. Tyson Shatani coming off. And again, as Jordan mentioned, Ambrose Tinmouth sliding back into that central midfield role.
substitution. Into the game, number 5, Nathan Chow.
Throw taken quickly by the visitors. Simchenko. For Zoha. On that far side, Chow challenging, but ball kept by Rovers. Simchenko once more will hold. Content just to keep for now. And again, see what opens up. Nice cutoff there by Bagiopoulos. Just couldn't really benefit from it. Rovers still maintain control. Purcell. Or sorry, pardon me, excuse me. I don't know where I pulled that from. Connor Adams was the name I was searching for in net for Rovers. I don't know where I pulled Charlie Purcell from, but Rovers still control Zohar. He's got the go-ahead goal right now, is the big number 9 for Rovers, Masoud Habibullah. His 7th of the year. Draws him level in team scoring with Eric Edwardson. Ball played over. Nice header there from Farragher. Mowbray did well to keep it in. Farragher's second effort. Clearing came off the back of a Rovers player. Falls nicely for the visitors. Ball played in there, Sagawa. Up to the middle, dancing through. Chance, Anna all alone. Put towards the net and they score. Although it'll be offside. And Rovers maybe just a little too fancy as a great chance on net. Shaya Zajampur turned down really one-on-one against Weir in favor of that one extra pass. And it costs Rovers potentially a goal.
Yeah, and I think when he looks back on that, he'll be frustrated with himself that he didn't shoot. He was almost 6 yards out. So
6 yards out, a ton of net to shoot at, and looked for the pass for the tap-in, which was executed, but offside flag goes up quickly. Zohar. Down along this near side, Zajampur. Delivered to the box, taken by Weir. Long, low clearance up for Bagiopoulos. 1-on-2, though. It bounces over effectively everybody, maybe helped on there by Simchenko. The Rovers captain, again, just slowing the pace. For everything we said earlier about Rovers increasing the pace, increasing tempo, perhaps just easing off a fraction at the moment. Certainly, as we said earlier, content just to see what opens up from a Harbourside perspective. Here's a chance down the right side. Zajampur looks to play to the middle. Only blue jerseys there, though. Purcell, the one-touch pass. Tinmouth up to Bagiopoulos. Returns back to Tinmouth, and Harbourside look to counterattack. McKenzie. Right side feed up for Chow. Back to McKenzie. Now Tinmouth. Hall. Left side. Here's Suko Bahari pinching back down low a little bit to try and get a touch of the ball. He's been quiet in this second half to date, and a corner saved on a nice hustle back by Rovers, and it'll be a throw instead right in that left corner. And Bahari will call Matt Marasa to come over and take it, to deliver the long throw. In fact, Bahari will just give it to Marasa to take it. Looking for a cross, Marasa in that left corner, trying to deliver, cuts in, loses his footing. It's cleared back out, but not too far by Rovers. Bahari still has it, 25 out. Delivers, Purcell from distance with the right boot, just got underneath it a little bit too much. And sails over. A good look, though, from Charlie Purcell.
Yeah, it's definitely a good look, and it's nice to see that there's that intent to keep going forward. So
we will get the water break here in this second half with midway through this second half, and really just a 5-minute stretch for Rovers, flipping this game on its head. A tough break by the D with a slipping defender looking to try and clear. ends up in the back of your net, and then, 5 minutes later, a penalty is kept in the same result.
Yeah, but I think this water break's good for Harborside. It gives them a chance to regroup, see what's going wrong, give Lindo a chance to tell the boys what he sees and where they can improve, and it also slows down the momentum, as we just spoke about. The last 5 minutes have been super high pace from the Rovers, so it'll kill the momentum a bit. And
I think we're going to get some injection of some new legs here as well.
Yeah, it looks like Daniel and Matthew Coburn.
Yeah.
So that's a center back and a attacking mid. Possibly Matt Marassa coming out would be my best guess. And then Danny for maybe Billy.
Would he slot into that striker role, or would you bring somebody else up?
I think Danny would go straight into the striker role. And then obviously Coburn and Marassa would be a like-for-like switch at center back.
Coburn's got some height too.
Yeah.
Such a tough start to the home campaign for Juan Rubiano and Daniel Timsaru, both injured, within 5 minutes of each other?
Yeah.
Haven't seen a whole ton of them here in Nanaimo this season, but it will be those two substitutions. And we'll see who comes off. It's going to be Mowbray to come off by the looks of things. He's making his way to the touchline. So Marassa is still out there, although he will hand off the armband now and give the responsibilities to Fergus Hall.
TSS also just made a sub too. I think that's Gabe Escobar, for the goal scorer, Kian Proctor.
All right, so it'll be Escobar in, as Jordan mentioned. Marassa off, Coburn on. And then it was Mowbray off. Maybe he doesn't like that, sort of had a bit of a kick of the jacket as he headed off.
Yeah, I think it was two solid performances for both guys that just got subbed. Obviously, Proctor scoring 2 goals and then contributing to that penalty, and then Mowbray making good forward passes and working hard. So
Chow has come back to that left wing back role. He's taken Mowbray's spot in the formation, and then Danny Tumsaru has gone up into sort of an attacking right midfield role.
Yep.
Sort of the counterpart to Suko Bahari, and then Billy Bagiopoulos stays in that lone striker position. So a little bit of a shuffle in the formation, but again, just goes to speak of versatility. As Tumsaru, his first touch this afternoon to Tenmouth. On this near side, misplay by Ferrier. Here's a chance back for Rovers along the right side. With speed, here's Gabe Escobar, fresh legs right off the bench. Delivers and drops off to Sagawa, back to Escobar, right goal line, able to hold it into the corner. Tries to deliver off Harbourside's number 6, Reese Ferrier, out for a throw.
Yeah, and that was a nice ball through by Fugo Sagawa, nice reverse pass through.
Is trying to play towards the middle, dangerous here, and Weir, a good save in tight. As doing enough to hold his man off. Habibullah got a chance to spin and fire. Isuka Buhari tracked down quickly.
Yeah, another great goal-scoring opportunity saved by Cal Weir. He's really keeping them in there right now.
How much, what's the pre-existing relationship with a lot of the players in League One? Because I imagine, obviously there's a wide age range of players. It's not like, say, university or club football where it's, mainly age group and, you've gone to school with kids or whatnot. You talk to a lot of these players, like you sort of known them for a long time, or you know their tendencies and whatnot. How many of sort of Rovers do you know from past and other teams around the league as well?
Well, I guess, on this field particularly, I'm familiar with a couple of the Rovers. I played with Shaya at Whitecaps, and then Ali Zohar, Nico Papa, Kiriopoulos, Tyler Dillon, and Devin O'Hea at SFU. And then I guess guys know each other too, because most guys, the team that they're playing for is like the city that they grew up in.
Yeah.
So you grow up playing against these guys and playing with them, so you build relationships through that. And then just playing against these guys, played League One last year, so you kind of just get familiar with your opponents, and it's that mutual respect. So
certainly the quality of play as well has been fantastic this year. It was certainly advertised that way by Harbourside in terms of what was coming to Nanaimo, and that's been on display this season as well here in the Harbour City.
Yeah, but for Harborside, first time most of us have played together, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But,
I mean, with both men's and women's programs, obviously very strong VIU Mariner contingent in there as well.
Yep.
But on both sides, there's former League One, I would say former League One players, but League One players from other teams in years past. Different schools as you mentioned, SFU, UBC represented in addition to VIU, obviously. Players from out east.
Yep.
It's a mix. It's a cross section. Hall able to clear that up just to the edge of the area, brought down. And that's for Jones. Looking to open up. Left foot he does, but it would have been offside. As Mejia again just half a step ahead. Was the gelling of the group any different from past teams, given that range of ages and given that range of prior experiences?
No, honestly, it was super easy. I mean, off the field, we had team events that kind of build team bonding. So, and we also started preseason a bit earlier for that specific reason. I mean, we had the guys that play together at VIU, but the other half is pretty much new. But we just did a lot of team bonding just so the guys could get familiar with each other. And yeah, everybody on the team gets along. There's no issues. So it's a great environment to be in.
Rovers control. We're in the 75th minute now. We're going to just update the online scoreboard as we neglected to start that after the drinks break. So we'll go do that at the moment. Here is late in the second half. Rovers a 3-2 advantage. Drop back for Zoha. Deep in midfield. Jones. Check that, Padami Escobar. Jones, the intended target on that pass, as Rovers just look to regather control. Harborside trying to clear. They'll get a second chance here as Tinmouth scored an absolute beauty in the first half to give Harborside the lead. Since then, Rovers have added 2, including 1 from the spot. Ball played back to Adams in net. Smichenko. Not a whole ton of movement on the subs bench yet. Both teams still have plenty of moves available to them. Long drive out that left side, and it's brought down. Mejia looking to work his way in. Ran into Tinmouth, turned back. McKenzie keeping him to the outside as well. Ivan Mejia looking to deliver to the middle, lost control of it, and Tinmouth will draw back the other way. Long feed. Bagiopoulos wanted it, but was well offside by the time the pass came. And wasn't able to take advantage of some good work by Tinmouth in his own half. (3-2) the score. Rovers lead, looking to continue their holds, or at least a share of their holds, on top spot in League One. It will come down to next weekend as Rovers will take on Highlanders in Victoria. Effectively, barring results this weekend, effectively winner take all. Smichenko to Zohar. Escobar. The left-footed pass just well in behind the run of Zajampur, and Harborside will take it down the left side, although it comes off a challenge by Escobar along the near side, and Bahari will take the quick throw. Here's Nathan Chow.
See Taylor Arbor at half ready to come in.
Would that be a Bagiopoulos, you think,
Yes.
for him to slot into that striker role?
Yeah.
Down the right side, here's McKenzie with some speed. He's got some Tsuru with him, but McKenzie trying to dance his way in, just ran into 2 Rovers players, and it'll get turned back the other way. Colburn Trying to keep them to the outside. Hall and Farragut back as well. Mahia trying to dance his way in. Unloads, offloads, I should say. Now along this near side, Zajanpour. Escobar, just outside the box. Delivers back up top. Jones, clear it out. Hall, dangerous. Stepped on the ball and sort of stutter stepped a little bit, but presence of mind, got it back to Weir and able to clear it to center. Zohar.
Yeah, TSS just being patient right now, seeing what they can get, and
basically how they started the game.
Yeah, and that's when they're most dangerous.
Good boot from Daniel Timsaru, but wasn't able to get it to anybody as Zohar. Ahead. That's for Habibullah. Drops it back off Escobar. Delivers to the left side. And it will be a goal kick. So this will bring on substitutes both sides. It will be Bagiopoulos off. And coming into the game will be Taylor Arbor. Rovers will make a change as well. Coming off will be Ali Zohar. In that kind of midfield role. Let's get a read on the number on who's coming in. So two changes look relatively like for like as the Rovers change slotting into a midfield role. It's the number 23, which I do not have on my lineup.
That's Devin O'Hea.
Thank you very much.
Another former SFU player.
On this near side, Nathan Chow. Suko Bahari trying to control, comes back out. That's for Hall. Check that Farragut, pardon me. Trying to get it to Tinmouth into the middle, but Rovers control. 3-2, TSS the advantage. And almost disaster there for Adams as he was quickly tracked down by Daniel Timsaru, but able to get it away. Tinmouth regathers. Chance here along the left side, Chow. Looking to dance his way in. He'll draw a free kick.
Yeah, and I think if you're TSS here, it's important to stay switched on. You know, one more goal and they're back in it. And we know how badly they need those 3 points. So biggest point for them is just keeping their heads in it and staying focused.
It'll be Suko Bahari to deliver. He'll have some aid from the winds to kind of curl it towards the net.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see it curl top corner.
You don't get a chance to see that too often unless you're playing FIFA. But
yeah.
Bahari will look to connect with somebody in the box. You got some tall bodies around.
Oof.
And the delivery from Bahari leaving a little to be desired. Purcell had to get onto it, but it never really left the mat. Here's Tunsaru looking to drive in from a long way out. Arbor trying to get onto one, but it's gathered by the goalkeeper.
Yeah, I think Suka just slightly mishit it there, didn't get fully under it. But
He had a couple of tall targets. Arbor, north of 6 foot. Colburn, borderline 6'4", 6'5", 6'6" kind of range.
yeah, they're big boys for sure.
I think Arbor listed at 6'3". And then Colburn might have him beat by an inch or two. Sagawa gave the ball away. Bahari along the left touchline, able to keep it in. Chow to the middle as Ambrose Tinmouth knocked down and stripped of it. Sagawa. Long way out, ball rolling its way through. It'll be a free kick. It'll go to Rovers on the challenge as that shot got away.
Yeah, I think that's a bit of a soft call there. Sagawa was already on his way down after he shot. But
25 yards out, free kick will come, although the referee is back a little bit further, so we'll say 30, 32 yards out. So certainly threatening. 3 Rovers players around it. Although Escobar will vacate, so just the 2. Kyle Jones closer on it.
Interesting, TSS only has 4 guys in the box. Makes me think they're going to shoot or play it short just to kind of kill down the clock, but it's looking like a shot.
Jones with the left shot. It is a shot, and it takes a couple of bounces on its way through, but it's gathered by Weir. Bahari left side, looking to advance it with a header. It's taken by Rovers. Inside the final 10 minutes of our regulation here in the second half, Rovers lead by a 3-2 score. Of course, the women's game coming up at 3:30 here at Kikinishtuk in Nanaimo. Huge playoff implications for that game with those 2 teams battling for that 4th and final playoff spot. Habibullah scored from the spot earlier in this half, has, as we stand right now, the game winner. Zajampur to the middle for Jones. Stripped of it by Aber, but Harbourside couldn't get clean control. Here's Zajampur once more. Feeds over to the left side. A big boot, and it's just grazing over the top. And out of play. Weir was there with the hand. It was not required this time.
Yeah, and TSS are looking more and more dangerous as the game goes on. Definitely looking to put an emphasis on getting it out wide or through the middle. So
I mean, from a TSS perspective, credit them being a good team. I mean, You're down 2-1. You're not used to conceding too many goals. You're going up against a team which hasn't scored too many, and you've had 2 go in. Credit them for coming out in this second half and playing the way that they have. I don't think it's a result of anything Harborside's really done wrong.
No.
You look at the 2 that have gone in. It was a slip from a Harborside defender. And this will be offside. Linesman waited until Harborside touched up, but offside the call. Slip from a Harborside defender, leaves crumbs and ends up in the back of your net, and then a penalty 5 minutes later.
Yeah, and just back to the point of TSS, I think they probably went back into the change room at the second half and kind of just snapped back into it and realized how important this game is. I mean, they're a team that obviously wants to lift the trophy at the end of the season and compete again in Canadian Championships. So,
and we saw what they did this year already in that.
Yeah.
Escobar on the overlap for delivery. Zajampur to the box, knocked down. It's cleared back out to midfield. Jones. Into the middle, little give and go is Harborside trying to clear from the deck. As Hall able to get it to another challenge, and this will be a free kick. It'll go against Harborside, and a shot, or an opportunity, I should say, coming 21 yards out. Substitution coming here for the home team. And it'll be Suko Bahari to come off. You know the faces better than I do, Jordan.
Yeah, that's Owen Degelman coming in. I think Lindo's just looking to put more attacking-minded players. Suka did a lot of running today, maybe a bit burnt out, so it's good to get some fresh legs up top and hopefully create some chances going forward.
Dagelman just staying right at half there with the fresh legs. Free kick, skied, never a threat.
Harborside substitution into the game number 18, Owen Degelman.
So Degelman in the 18 jersey. He'll take Suka Bahari's slot in that left attacking midfield role.
Yeah, I thought Suka had a good first half, and then I think TSS kind of caught on in the second and really did a good job of...
Definitely quieter, yeah.
Yeah, definitely did a good job of shutting him down and forcing it to our right side, but overall, not a performance to be upset about.
Oh, seldom with Suka Bahari. He's one of those players you never know. You never question whether you're going to get 100%. Even if there's only 60% to give, you're going to get all of it. As a free kick just outside the area.
Yeah, just back to that, he's a player that obviously expects a lot from himself. So, and you can tell it. You can tell through the way he plays. He always wants to go out there and make an impact.
So free kick coming from just outside the area, a few yards out, close to the right touchline. So this will be a chance here to threaten. Daniel Tumtaru is around it. Is that what? So Coburn's in the middle, Arbor's in the middle as targets.
Also Dagelman, who has good height.
Yeah. Delivery. It's low. It's headed away. Straight back to the free kick tanker and down to Tumtaru. Has some room just outside the area. He crosses it in, but it's cleared away once more. Trying to knock that one down as Harborside regather. Weir, well out of his area, clears it into attacking territory. Hall, the nice header. Nice for Arbor. Look to regather. Shoots to net. Crumbs fall, and it's cleared out and into midfield by Rovers.
Yeah, and that was a great build-up. Nice ping from Cal, and then the flick on from Fergus to Taylor. I like it.
Nico Papakriakopoulos is down in the Rovers area and calls for the training staff for Rovers.
Yeah, I think he just collided with his center back.
Chance for a quick drink for both teams. Harborside will head over, treat this almost like a timeout. And an opportunity to try and find something here in this last few minutes. We are nearing the end of our regulation time. Is there something late here from Harborside?
Yeah, well, most goals are scored in the first 5 and the last 5 minutes of each half, so these next few minutes are going to be really important for both teams.
So we are north of 90 minutes here at Kikinishtuk. We'll see what we get in terms of a stoppage time indication from the referee. I didn't see one in the first half. We only got, I think it was 2 minutes and change in the first half.
Yeah, I'm not expecting
not too much
a lot in the second half as well, aside from Nico going down there. Maybe 1 or 2 minutes max.
It's cleared up high and out to midfield. Just distance and time, and it'll be a free kick as Habibullah trying to dance away from a challenge. Fergus Hall pleading his innocence.
Yeah, he's got to be careful.
He's already on a yellow, yep.
Yeah. Not worth it. Still got 1 game left in the season.
This will be a late substitution coming here for Rovers. And it will be Masood Habibullah to come off. He has, as we sit right now, the game winner coming from the penalty spot.
Yeah, had a couple chances too in the first half. He was dangerous today. I think this substitution's more just to kind of kill the game out.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
By TSS some time, you know, slow it down.
Get a breather.
Yeah.
Striker off and looks to be more of a wing midfield on. And it will be the number 19 of Brennan Slaughter. Rovers just inside the box. Drops it back off. Long chance. Optimistic at best. He deflected off a Harborside player, though, on the chance from Ivan Mahia. This game has gone quick. Usually there's only about a 10 or 15-minute gap between the first and the second games. We'll get probably about half an hour in before the women hit the field at 3:30.
Yeah, I think that's why the girls are out there now. You know, that happened to us 2 weeks ago. It's tough because you get out there and then you get a shortened warm-up, so it's important to get out earlier if you know you're going to start late, just so you can be prepared for when the whistle blows.
Rovers just killing the clock in that corner.
Yeah.
And again, straight back to the corner goes Escobar. Just every second counts. It'll be a throw-in for Harborside. You got to think maybe one last roll of the dice here for Harborside if they can get the ball and control. Rovers a 3-2 advantage chance. The little give and go, and it's blocked in front. As O'Shea trying to, Devin O'Hea, excuse me, with a chance down that left side. Weir boots it. And it's cleared away by the captain, a crucial header. And we will continue playing, although there is a Rovers player down. A quick look at the watch by the referee. Fugo Sagawa trying to just buy a little bit of time. Referee wants to keep playing.
I think it's most likely a cramp. You know, it's super hot out here. Sagawa's been doing a lot of running. So
he's been good.
Yeah, probably feeling it a bit in his calves or quads, which is normal.
A little bit of frustration there by Fergus Hall with the referee. Just the stoppage during a hot second half, which is deep into stoppage time. You've got to think this is probably last roll of the dice for Harborside.
Yeah, I think here just commit all bodies forward and just try to make something of it, because likely, like you said, the last action of the game, so just commit everybody forward and see what can come of it.
So Sagawa will head to the far touchline with the trainers. So Rovers down to 10. McKenzie makes the trek from right to left. He'll take the long throw. Referee just trying to settle the play a little bit. It has been a tightly managed game, by Ben Clark. Seen him have one-on-one chats with a number of players, just asking for calm. McKenzie, the long throw into the area, headed towards the goal, but it's about 6 yards wide. The referee has another look at the watch. The right idea, the execution just a fraction off, and Rovers will take every single second that they can. Adams will probably put everything he can into this one.
Yeah, I think
it's against the wind.
Whistle's going to be blown right when he kicks it, most likely.
Referee at center. Ball knocked down. It is to ground. They'll let them play. So Harborside once more. Played out to the right. Tim Taru. He's got Chowell on the left side if he wants to cross. Instead up the far side, Arbor. Looking to control. Dishes it back off. Just a fraction overplayed as Tinmouth couldn't control it. It's put out for a throw, and we will keep playing. Tim Taru. Rovers fans want a final whistle. Hall delivers to the box. Adams out diving. Sprawling, grabbing, and holding on.
Yeah, Rovers fans are obviously loving it. You can hear them chanting out loud.
Clearance from the keeper again. Referee will let them play still, although it will be now a substitution. Oh, sorry, pardon me. The player coming back in. So that'll be Sagawa coming back in. Saw the whistle go up to the mouth there for a second. Ball out of play for a throw, and it'll be Rovers' throw, and another glance at the watch. We haven't seen a signal from the fourth official, so your guess is as good as mine in terms of how many minutes we're playing. We are now into minute 7.
Yeah, I thought it would have been called after Connor Adams took that goal kick, but it looks like he's allowing them.
Outstanding work in the corner there, killing off time, able to keep play in. Here's Mahea, and it's put out for a corner.
Yeah, my best guess would be this is the last action of the game, if not.
Purcell trying to encourage Rovers. He brought the ball over to the corner. Mahea will take it short. Every second counts. And working there, there's 3 Harborside players to try and take it away, and it's cleared up down the left wing, and they will still continue to play. Mahea fouled on the edge of the area, and this will be a free kick. Minute 8 of stoppage time.
Yeah, I can't recall where this time's coming from. But
Ivan Mahea. Dancing around the ball, plays it back to the middle.
And this is going to go back in the corner for sure.
I think Rovers just keen to kind of play it away, although they lose it. Is there one more chance? Degelman to Ambrose Tinmouth. He's stripped of it by 3, and that is the final whistle. Took us a while to get there, but the TSS Rovers come from behind and take one here in Nanaimo. And their battle at the top of the table with the Victoria Highlanders remains alive. And Harbourside still looking for that second win on the season. It doesn't help you out in the standings all that much, but a lot to like from a Harbourside perspective in terms of how you go about your business through 90 minutes. But that's a tough one to stomach for the home team. Effectively 5 minutes in the second half is what separated these two teams. And Jordan, a tough one when you get those breaks, and sometimes you get them, sometimes you have to deal with them.
Yeah, I think like you said, though, I mean, obviously a tough result, but I think there's a lot of key takeaways that Harborside can take away. And then, yeah, I think just now
figure it out for next week.
Yeah, put this one behind us and then back home next weekend versus Altitude. And
deserved better, did Harbourside, but Rovers, full credit. And good teams are at the top of the table for a reason, and Rovers showed that in the second half here this afternoon. Jordan, thank you so much making your broadcast debut here. Pleasure to have you. Great insight into how these teams want to go about the business. So I'm not sure if you draw a short straw. I'm not sure if you volunteered, but thank you regardless for your time here this afternoon.
Yeah, it was a pleasure. Thank you.
Jordan McKinty joining us here in our broadcast this afternoon. We will step away here and we'll get set for the women's game at 3:30 here at Kikinishtuk. That'll be on another link on the League One BC YouTube channel. On behalf of everyone associated with the broadcast, thank you so much for watching or listening. Harborside get goals from Billy Bagiopoulos in the 23rd minute. Ambrose Tinmouth, a screamer from 30-odd yards out 10 minutes later. And they led 2-1 through 45, but unfortunately could not hold on in the second half. And TSS overrun the top, and it is a 3-2 Rovers lead, Rovers win, I should say, here in Nanaimo. We'll be back with you at 3:30 for the women's game and a battle for 4th place and a playoff spot in League One. Have a great rest of your afternoon. Bye now.